Musical musings, musical musings, musical musings, musical musings.
Hello and good afternoon. Welcome back to our latest episode of Musical Musings. This program will air every Wednesday at 1 p.m. And we bring this program to you from Rajamacon, University of Technology, Peranakan. In our first part of our program, we will talk about the band and the song that we're going to discuss today. Then we will listen to the song. And in the second part of our program, then we will go over the words to the song. We will discuss what the words, the lyrics mean. We will focus on anything that is especially difficult, like any vocabulary, slang, or idioms that may be hard to understand. An idiom is when we use a phrase that doesn't mean exactly what the words sound like they mean. So we'll discuss that in the second half of our program. All right, then we'll have the latest news and updates from the university as usual.
Musical musings, musical musings, musical musings, musical musings.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Gary Gray, and I am your host for the Musical Musings program. I'm an American teacher here at Rajamacon University of Technology, Peranakan. I have been teaching here for 7 years, and I really enjoy music. So I try to incorporate it into my lessons, and that's why I'm bringing you this program. All right, so for today's episode, we are going to do the song Wolf Totem from The Who. Okay, so there's two things we need to talk about here about The Who before we get into this song. The Who. Who is spelled H-U. If you like Western music, you are probably familiar with the band The Who, with Who spelled W-H-O. Very good band. I like them too. Roger Daltrey, Pete Townsend, great musicians. The Who. It's a great band. That's not who we're talking about. I think we've done them before, actually. I think we did The Who. I think we did Pinball Wizard. I believe that's what we did. I believe we did Pinball Wizard from The Who before. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about The Who, H-U. Also, the second thing about The Who is that they are Mongolian. Their music is not in English. This is an English program. What are we doing if we're not going to play an English song? Most of you don't know Mongolian. You're not going to understand the song, so we're just going to listen to it for the musical part of it. What are we doing? That doesn't make any sense. We're going to listen to a Mongolian band singing Mongolian. Yeah. In an English language program? What are we doing? Okay. So again, the name of our song is Wolf Totem. We are going to listen to their, I don't want to say their English version of it because there is some Mongolian in it, yes. but it is a version of the song which they do with someone called Papa Roach. You might be familiar with him. He's quite popular. Honestly, the style of music he does, I don't really I don't really know who he is. I don't know who Papa Roach is. I know he's popular. I don't really know him. But they're doing this song with him. And so they have an English version of the song. I will tell you that the English version does not translate quite perfectly to the Mongolian version. If you take the Mongolian version and just translate it, the words are different. I'm sure they did that to make make it rhyme or whatever, to make it make sense. Also, there's elements of it that I think for a Western audience make more sense with the language that they use in this other version. Okay. So, okay, I don't want to talk too much about that. Let's because we're going to talk about that more later because we're really talking about the song now. Let's talk about the band a little bit first. All right, but I wanted to mention that because it's a Mongolian band. Most of their songs are in Mongolian, so what's the point for this program? You're not going to understand anything. All right. So, but this song is mostly in English. It does have some Mongolian parts in it along the way, but it's mostly in English. So, The Who, they're a Mongolian folk metal band. What the heck is folk metal? Folk and metal are about as far apart as you can get. Folk metal, folk is like just kind of slow, quiet, nice music. Metal is really hard, heavy music. Well, one thing that folk often includes is like regional instrumentation. Like if you're listening to folk music from the mountains of West Virginia in America, we might call that bluegrass music because they're going to use fiddles and banjos and things like that. They're going to use the local instruments. That's what happens in folk music. Folk music is kind of like local, something that everyone's going to understand. It's music for the people. Metal, well, that's heavy metal. So what they're doing is they're doing heavy metal using instrumentation that is local to them. So they use a lot of Mongolian instrumentation, including their voices, which is very interesting. You will hear something from them called throat singing. I cannot do that, so I cannot give you an example of that. But I mean, I don't know how to even explain it. It comes from using your throat. That's why it's called throat singing. But if you think of your throat, well, that's what it is. It's going to be this very deep sound, that's what you're going to hear from them with the throat singing. It's very interesting. It's one of the reasons I love this band. It's a very interesting style, very unique. It's very cool. So I think you'll like this. Even if you don't really like heavy music, because this is metal, so some people don't like that. It's too heavy. You might like this. All right, so The Who, they formed in 2016. They've got 4 members. I'm not even going to try to pronounce their names. I will mess it up. Plus, they kind of add and subtract members for whether they're going on tour or whatever. They sometimes have other members when they're on tour. So I won't even get into who their members are. But they have 4 core members. They're also very nice people. Believe it or not, I myself have interacted with them on social media. They're nice guys. I like them. I haven't interacted with them a lot, but it's a lot like Sabaton. I've interacted with them as well. We did an episode on Sabaton many weeks back. Also, another metal band. You'll be surprised. You'd think metal bands, tough guys. No, they're some of the best people out there. Great people. Same thing with The Who. Good people. All right. So, again, the song we're going to do is Wolf Totem. And this is going to be from 2019. Actually, Wolf Totem, this is their alternative version, but it actually came out the same year as their main version. Their main version is just in Mongolian. But we're going to do the version that's with Papa Roach because he will sing in English. I call this, when we're doing this episode, I say this is from The Who, but honestly, it's almost as much from Papa Roach as it is The Who because Papa Roach is the only one singing in English. So the English part, the words we need to think about, the words we need to discuss, the words we need to interpret, the difficult vocabulary, the slang, the idioms, all of that is from Papa Roach. Still, The Who wrote the song. The translation, at least part of it, not all of it. There are some parts they changed a lot, but at least part of the translation is close to the original Mongolian. So it's still The Who's song. So that's why I talk about this as a song by The Who. But most of the words we will interpret, most of the lyrics we're going to talk about. In fact, all of them really. I don't think The Who sings at all in English in the whole song. I don't actually remember. They might join in on the chorus, but I don't think they do. I think the whole thing is just Papa Roach. The whole English part is just him. All right. So what is this song about? Really, it's pretty simple. It is a war chant, and it's about working together to accomplish a goal. Even though it's about war, I really don't think this band is very warlike, even though it's a metal band and very... No. Like I said, these guys are really nice guys. I've actually interacted with them. And these are nice people. It's really just about working together. I think they just enjoy the fact that their culture is so warlike that they can put out this strong music. But I don't think they are actually warlike at all. So this is really just about working together. It's not actually about war. As you'll see in the lyrics, they talk about brethren code. Brethren means like brotherly, like brothers. So but even though you're not really brothers, so a brethren code would be like an agreement that you have with your friends to do the right thing and work together with each other to accomplish something. That would be a brethren code. All right, so that's what this song is about. It's a war chant, but again, I don't think we're using it as war here. They don't really shy away from that because it's kind of a fun concept for a metal band, but I don't think that's really what it's about. It's about, like I said, working together, but it's a war chant. Wolf Totem. So this is Wolf Totem with Papa Roach. All right, so let's get to the song. And for any of you joining us on YouTube, If you've listened to this program before, you know that we can't embed the video. Drives me crazy because I think we probably could. But a lot of people do when they do reaction videos, things like that. Just put it small, put it in the corner. But our legal people here are too concerned about that, so we don't do that. So you're going to see a link in the upper right corner. So please click on that link to watch the video. Then you can jump back here after the video is over to see an analysis of the lyrics. And for any of the rest of you who may be listening on radio or streaming, all we're going to do is drop in the sound. That's not a problem. So you should be able to listen just fine. So let's get to the song.
Musical musings, musical musings, musical musings, musical musings.
All right, so that was Wolf Totem by The Who featuring Papa Roach. All right, so for these lyrics, a lot of times I like to kind of sing them a little bit as we go along. I'm not sure I can do that in this song. There's actually not a lot of singing. I just can't quite get the tone right here. If the lions want war, we gonna fight them till the battle ends. Yeah, I can't do that. No. So we're just gonna go through the lyrics here. Again, this is a war chant song, but it's really about working together. So we start out with, if the lions want war, we're gonna fight them till the battle ends. I don't think we're really talking about about actual lions. They don't have lions in Mongolia. What this is basically saying is that we're going to fight together. We're going to fight. That's all. And like I told you at the beginning, I think these guys are pretty peaceful, nice guys. They don't want war. It says if the lions want war. So if someone else starts it, we're going to finish it. That's what that's saying. We're going to fight them to the end. So these guys are not looking for war. Nothing like that. Nope. But if the lions want war, all right, bring it. We're going to fight till the battle ends. So what this is saying is we're going to fight until the end. Okay, then we have a little Mongolian line there, which probably is the same thing. Just in Mongolian. If the tigers come running, we're going to fight them to the bloody end. Yeah, okay, that's basically the same line. We're talking about tigers now, but if they come running, fight them till the end. Okay, that's the same thing. So same idea. Then we get another Mongolian line. When the elephants come, they're going to bow to my brethren. Okay. This one's a little trickier to understand. I think maybe because being elephants, which are less aggressive, they can be very aggressive under the right circumstances, but they can be less aggressive. So I think that's why they back off we're going to fight till the very end, because elephants can actually be quite nice too sometimes, depending whether they're angry or not. So they just say it's going to bow to my brethren. Brethren is like brother, like I told you before. That means brother. So when the elephants come, they're going to bow to my brother. So in other words, they're going to just stop fighting. I assume from the first two lines about the lions and the tigers that the elephants are coming to fight. So they're just going to back off and not fight. Bow is like, it's like a Y, like that's a bow. So they're just going to stop fighting and respect them. Okay. And then we get to the next line, lock them in a cage, parade them to the lion's den. All right. When we talk about a lion's den, in the old times, that's where they would put people to basically have them get killed. You throw them in with the lions. The lion's going to kill them. So we lock them in a cage and parade them to the lion's den. So I don't think they're talking about the elephants here, because the elephants bowed to the brethren. They're just talking about the people that oppose them. We're going to capture them. We're going to lock them in a cage. We're going to capture them and throw them to the lions so they're all going to die. Again, I don't think they're really talking about war here. That's not the nature of these people. They're just kind of celebrating their history. So they're being very warlike. Genghis Khan came from Mongolia. In fact, they have a song about him. So that's actually my favorite song by them. This is probably actually their most famous song, but my favorite song by them is about Genghis Khan. All right, so I don't think they're really celebrating war. They're just kind of respecting their past. Okay, so then we move to then we have a little bit of a Mongolian bit there, where you will hear some throat singing, and then we get to the next verse. I breathe fire like a dragon, killing demons. Again, we're trying to talk about war, but we're trying to be nice. I breathe fire like a dragon, so he's, just vicious, just killing people, but killing demons, so killing bad people. So he breathes fire like a dragon, killing demons. I'm gonna go hard. Yeah, we're gonna seize the day. Okay. Or what does that mean? Okay. When you say you're gonna go, okay, we have this one line, we have two English sayings, which might be a little confusing. If you say you're going to go hard, what does that mean? It means you're really going to fight. You're going to be strong. Go get them. Go fight. Like if you're talking about a sport, you're really going to do your best. So go hard means do your best. And we're going to seize the day. The phrase seize the day means to make the best of your day. So we're talking about a fight. So if we're going to seize the day during a fight, it almost means the same thing about going to go hard, because it means you're going to fight a lot. You're going to do your best. You're going to try to win, seize the day, make the best of it, succeed. That's what seize the day means. Seize means to take something. So if you seize the day, you're taking the day, you're going to win. That's the idea of seize the day. That is a saying in English. All right, next line is hellfire, rain it down upon my people. Okay, so hellfire, what does that mean? Hellfire. Hell, you know what hell is? Fire. Okay, so hellfire is like just a terrible thing. Rain it down. You're thinking about dropping it on people, so it's not rain, but you're dropping it on people when you say rain it down. So what you're thinking about here, if you're thinking about war, is you're dropping fire, bomb. This is about like bombing people. Hellfire, rain it down on my people. If you're going to bring the evil, we could bury it today. Okay, what does that mean? If you're going to bring the evil, we could bury it today. Honestly, this is one of these lines where I'm not even 100% sure how to interpret it, but I think what they're saying here is that it doesn't matter. Bring it. Bring your best. We're going to beat you anyway. Because it says if you're going to bring the evil, that's the hellfire, rain it down upon my people, that's the evil, because they're bombing your people, we could bury it today. We, so that's our side, could bury it today. In other words, they're just going to take it, whatever you have to offer. Bury it means put it in the ground. When you bury something, that means you put it in the ground and you forget about it. So in other words, they're not even going to be bothered by this. When they say they're going to bury it today, they're not even going to be bothered by it. It's like, yeah, you guys are bad for doing this to us. We're not even going to be bothered by it. We're going to come back to you. We're going to come back at you, and we're going to beat you. Okay, So then we get to the next verse. We've all been lost, we've all been called. Everyone rise to the brethren code. Okay, so we've all been lost. That means, a lot of times, what this reminds me of, like during 9/11 in America. We've all been lost. America was just not very together. A lot of people hated each other. During 9/11, we had a new president because he was elected the prior year and just took office that year. I think I said 2011. I mean 2001. He was elected in 2000. It was 9/11, 2001, September 11th. I think most of you know what happened that day. So this kind of reminds me of that. We've all been lost. So everyone was kind of separated. America, you think of as like this strong country, really united. In fact, it's called the United States of no. It's very divided. And it's bad right now, too. It's very divided right now. But back in 2000, it was also very divided, 2001. It says we've all been lost, and that's kind of the way it felt. It felt lost in America in 2001 because a lot of people hated each other. We've all been called, everyone rise to the brethren code. So in other words, after 9/11, we've all been called, everyone rise means stand up to the brethren code. It means as brothers. So like after 9/11, we got attacked and we were like, no more. We all came together. All of America came together after 9/11. That's kind of what this reminds me of. I mean, I don't know that that's exactly what Papa Roach was thinking of. It could be. He lived through that time. He's not very old, but he's old enough. He probably remembers that, at least vaguely. He was pretty young then, but he probably at least remembers it vaguely. That could actually be what he's talking about. We got your back. We all been low. Let's all rise to the brethren code. Okay, so when someone says they've got your back, it means they're defending you. So you go into battle. I'm right there with you. I'm standing next to you, making sure nobody. Usually, when you say you got usually when you say you've got someone's back, they're actually leading it, not you. But it means you're going to protect them as they take the lead. So I got your back. And then it says we all been low. That means we've all been in a bad place. We've all been losing at some point. So again, if I think about this as like 9/11 again, yeah, we were all low before September 11th. We were all low right after September 11th as well, obviously, because it was so bad. So let's all rise to the brethren code. So again, come together and fight together. So again, it's a war chant about fighting together. But there's a lot more than that in there. Like we talked about, there's kind of a lot of details in there about and some difficult vocabulary like seize the day, things like that. Hellfire. So we've got a lot of interesting terms, not always easy to understand. But the basic idea here is pretty simple. It's about coming together. That's the brethren code. Again, brethren means like brothers, to behave like brothers. So let's all rise. Rise means come up, means lift up. And we usually use that if we're going to say let's all rise, it usually means be strong. So let's all rise to the brethren code. It means let's come together as brothers. All right, and then we just repeat this several times over. So that's pretty much the end of the song. All right, so the Who, so let's just talk about this in general and finish up our episode here. So the Who is really phenomenal, especially if you like heavy metal music. Again, it's like folk metal because they do some interesting things with it, but it's still heavy metal. It's pretty I would say as heavy metal goes, it's pretty soft heavy metal. I mean, it's still heavy metal. It's pretty hard music. But if you compare to like grunge, screaming metal, that type of music, I mean, heck, even AC/DC, which is like a classic heavy metal band, is heavier than this. So they're not crazy. But yeah, I think you'd still have to say it's heavy metal. They're a heavy metal band. There's no other way to describe them. They're a heavy metal band. So if you like heavy metal music, they really have some phenomenal music. Wolf Totem, as I mentioned earlier, is probably their most famous song. My favorite song is Genghis Khan, which they pronounce Chinggis Khan. Chinggis Khan. They pronounce Chinggis Khan. So if you want to look that up, it's spelled Chinggis with a CH. So you'll want to type in The Who, and Who, by the way, spelled HU. It's just short for human. So if you want to look them up, type in The Who, CH, and then after the CH, probably autofill will tell you what the song is you're looking for to make sure you spell it correctly. The spelling is a little bit weird. They don't spell it Genghis Khan as Westerners do. It's spelled Chinggis Khan. If I remember correctly, the Han still has a K in it. It's just not pronounced. But the Chinggis is Chinggis, CH. So you'll have to look that up to make sure you get the right one. They have many, many, many other good songs that are really popular. Juve Juve is very popular. Honestly, not one of my favorites by them, even though it's really popular. I prefer Wolf Totem, Genghis Khan. There's a couple other songs by them that I really like. They have just a lot of really good music. Really great band, and very interesting the way they combine their local music, their local instruments, with heavy metal. Great band. All right, so that's The Who. Make sure you go listen to more of them. I especially encourage you to go listen to Chinggis Khan, or Chinggis Khan, as they pronounce it. All right. Thank you for joining us for today's Musical Musings program. Please stay with us and tune back in next week for another great song that I will bring to you. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you.
Musical